Hi there everyone, welcome back up to the loft here with me, Jenny Kirk. This is Weir Yard, and today I'm going to be filming an update that I'm doing. I've got some products that I've bought myself, and these come from a selection from Wills, Ratio and Model Scene as well. And there's some great products out there actually, which can just breathe life and add that little bit of detail which really brings a model railway to life. But before we go on, I'd just like to bring your attention to today's channel sponsor, Trainomatic, who are makers of DCC decoders and other accessories designed by the enthusiast for the enthusiast. Don't forget to go and check them out at the link down below. So today the plan is to deal with the area around the signal box. Now you may remember that I did the full review of that kit, which was very kindly sent over by Pico, and I did comment in that I was going to continue to add to that area and just kind of bring it to life. So without further ado, come with me and I'll be happy to show you what I'm up to. So this is the area where I was working on last time, and you can see that Pico signal box kit that did the building and the reviewing of. Really pleased with that, and I also showed some of the landscaping that I put in just to kind of build the basis for this area. Got the plants in, and I think I showed you the people as well. I had them left over in the bottom of my bits and pieces box. So we've got a signalman there and a couple of other workers at the top of the hump here at Weir Yard. Now if we just kind of move back a bit, you can see this whole area, it just needs something more. So what I've done is I have purchased a few bits and pieces. So from Model Scene we've got level sign stroke milepost reference 5051. I thought I'd give these a go. Also from Model Scene we've got some yard lamps, code 5047. And I'm going to get these painted up, and I think that whilst they're non-working, they'll certainly help bring the area to life. Also from Wills, we've got the SS22 lamp huts and oil drums. Now these are a product that I've used before to great effect, and I really did have them in mind when I built this area. So again, need to paint them up and get them in. Possibly use just one of these in that area, save the other for somewhere else. And then I thought relay boxes as well to match up with the signal cabin. And the final item as well for this area are these cable drums. Now these come from Bachmann's Scene Craft, and they're currently on sale at Rails of Sheffield. So I thought that I would give them a go. And they're interesting little things, so I just thought for a little bit of clutter around behind the signal box, they might go down well. And you get 2 empty cable drums and 2 full cable drums, and they're all weathered up and ready to plant. Now whilst I was purchasing stuff, I also got some of this Ratio catalogue number 437 wooden fencing. This isn't going to go around the signal box, but hopefully if I've got time then I will add this to the update video and show where I'm planning on putting that over by the kind of town area where the terraced houses are. And that will just finish that off, divide it off from the track. But first up, what I want to do is, I think I'm going to get parts for these 3 painted up on the sprue, and then once that's dry we can think about how we're going to kind of finish off this area. So what I want is one of those yard lamps down here, because the steps out of the signal box, the signalman wouldn't be going up and down there in the dark, needs lighting. So one of those lamp towers is going there. And I'm probably going to add the other ones, because these come as a pack of 6. There'll be a corresponding one maybe over there. And then some of the other signal cabins that are here on Weir Yard. There's Weir Yard number... No, this is Bertley East or West Junction. I can't actually remember. So there's a signal cabin there. Might get one. Certainly a couple in the shed area. There is Weir Yard number 2. Not very photogenic, but I'm going to put a yard lamp over there by that. And then the final signal box on the layout is weir yard number 3 there, and that needs one just at the bottom of its stairs. And I'm going to see how these yard lamps do. If they do look the part, then actually basically I'm going to look to possibly get some working ones. I know you can buy working ones, but they are a lot more expensive. So as a starting point, I think this offers great value for money potentially to actually get set up, and they can be replaced at a later date if you so desire, if you want to move on to lit ones. So I'm going to give them a go. Right, I'm going to crack open the paints, and I think painting them on the sprue makes things a bit easier, so that when we do put them together we don't end up with a mess where we're trying to paint different colours right up to each other. So I've got the tools that we need for this, just some screwdrivers. I just need the flathead really to open up the little tinlets, a couple of brushes, and what I'm going to do is let's have a look in the massive great big mess of colours. And there's that grey again that we did the roof of the signal box. I think for the roof of the oil hut, maybe even the barrels, that's a great colour, so we'll get that out. You can also see I've got here satin 174 for the fire buckets. Let's get that out, and then let's have another rummage around, and let's have a quick think really. What colour are we going to need to do the hut? It sort of looks like an off-white cream colour. So let's have a look. Matte 34. Let's put that to one side. It's probably a little bit too kind of clean, I suspect. Although, no, that's probably a bit too yellowy. But let's have a look through. What else have we got? Matte 23. Actually, that looks about right. As you can see, it's more of a cream colour than the white. So let's put that back. We're going to need sort of like a dark wood colour. So let's have a good rummage here, shall we? Matte 83, that's too yellow. 29, that could be a contender, so we'll put that to one side. What have we got down here? Matte 26, is that? That's... I prefer that actually to the khaki colour, so we'll put the khaki back in there. This is the thing, I've got years and years worth of building up various colours, and it's great when you get to this point, because then you're not kind of having to spend a huge amount of money on various bits and pieces. Oh, actually, matte 28. I'm thinking that that is going to be a better colour than that. So, what else do we need? I'm thinking a kind of gunmetal grey. Now, did I see... that might be a little bit too metallic. That's the MET on those means it's a metallic paint. So I'm going to put that to one side. I don't think we're going to use that. But I'm going to have a good rummage through here now. Actually, metallic 67. Sorry, matte 67. Actually, that looks the part. I think that... How different is that? They're fairly similar colours, but no, we'll put that there. We'll put the metallic one back in. And for these yard lamps, is there a picture? Yes, there is. So what else do we need? Well, we've got the kind of dark... I'm going to say some kind of matte black or a satin finish black. So what have we got there? Satin 85. Let's put that out for now. Do we have a matte one somewhere in here? Well, matte 110. There's a brown. Sometimes you can have too many colours and you end up not being able to find the one you want, and maybe not quite sure which one to choose. There we go, matte 33. I'm going to get that one out as well. Is there any other colours that we need? I don't think so. Is there a picture there? That would be fine. So I'm going to put those to one side, and these are the colours that I've selected. So let's go ahead. Let's get these out and start painting parts up on the sprue. One interesting thing is the lamp hut, the kind of oil store. It is moulded in roughly the right colour plastic, so you can see all the stuff that's going to be dark grey is there as dark grey, and the sides of the building kind of matching the picture there. So it is interesting. You could kind of build it up and then just weather it. I am going to paint it because I think the plastic has this kind of shine to it. But it is nice that it has been thoughtfully moulded in the appropriate colours. And what that does mean is that you're not going to get any weird colours showing through the paint if your paints are a bit on the thin side. So I've got a coat of paint on everything, and actually I'm quite pleased. Humbrol number 28 for this kind of matte off-white cream colour. That seems to work quite well. It'll get a weathering wash, so that'll bring out some of the corrugation detail quite nicely. The relay boxes, they're painted up in Humbrol number 67. My tin was actually on the turn, so it's gone very streaky, but actually that might play to my advantage. Humbrol number 32 for the oil drums and the roofs of the oil storage huts. And Humbrol number 174, which is a satin, so sort of halfway between gloss and matte for the fire buckets. And then the yard lamps, I'm not convinced with the brown. This is Humbrol number 20, I think it's 26. So it just looks a little bit, I'm not quite sure how to describe it. The brown's wrong. So I may yet, when they're dry, go over them with number 110. The black is done in matte black, number 33, for the ladders, the fittings and the tops. And I'm going to use the same white, off-white matte colour that I used before on the oil storage huts to just do the bulbs in the lamps. But as you can see, I'm just not convinced with that brown. But sometimes it's trial and error. It's no big deal to paint over the top of that. Number 110 I know is matte natural wood. So with hindsight, I probably should have gone with that from the start. And now it's just a case of letting everything dry before we press on. You can still see the shine in the some of the paint where it's wet. So just leave it be, and then up here we can get to work on fitting them in as soon as everything's dry, and just build up that area and finish it off. So whilst the paint's drying on those other models, I've turned my attention to this set, the level sign milepost, reference 5051 from Model Scene, and you can see some of them here. And what I'm doing is I'm just going around the layout and figuring out where I want to put these. So the level markers, I've found a few places over here, and I'm going to have another one there. And you get one which is there is sort of would be partway up a grade. That's the actual summit with slope up, and that would be at the summit. And then this particular one here is slope in that direction and then level in that direction. And I think these are probably decent enough places to put them. You also get in the kit these mileposts, again 3 of these with different markings on, and I'm going to have a think about where to put them. Essentially, I guess I'm going to put them somewhere on the main line, possibly round there. I'd like them to be a little bit of a feature. Now they're moulded in this quite bright white plastic, and one of the things I have noticed, as you can just see on the top there, there's like a little pip, which is a leftover from the moulding. It's actually pretty easy to remove with a Stanley knife blade, and I've already done that with these, so dead easy to do. Once I've got them in position, I'm going to glue them in with some of the Speed Bond PVA, and I'm also going to just glue in around over the top of that base a little bit of static grass as well, just to blend it in and disguise it. Once all that is dry, and then I'm going to just put a dirty wash over them just to tone that bright white down, and I think they're going to look pretty nice. And there's just tiny little details that draw the eye and add something a little bit different. I think that it's a pretty good product. So In terms of a score, well, I'm not really going to give a score to each individual item in this review, but certainly this is a product I can recommend. So now I've got them in place. The glue's still wet, it will dry clear. So we've got a gradient marker there. If we come down here, there's another one, just one in there. Use a little bit of hairspray to fix the static grass on the top of the speed bond. That will dry completely clear. So that's going to be fine. And then in terms of the mile markers, I've got one in there. And these come as 1/4 of a mile, 1/2 a mile, and 3/4 of a mile. So what I've done is 3/4 of a mile I've put there. Move right round there. The 1/2 a mile one is under the bridge, just there. And the 1/4 of a mile is over there. And I'm guessing that they measure from the signal box, which is over here. So that's how I've done them. Somebody's probably going to post in the comments now and say I've got that completely wrong. But actually, this is a toy train. It runs in a circle. So I'll do what I want. I think they look the part, and they certainly add a little bit of interest to the line side. So I'm really, really happy with that. So I've just had a go at putting together the Wheels Kits SS85 relay boxes set 1. And actually these are really easy to put together. There's only 3 parts per box, 2 boxes, so 6 parts in total. They've gone together really easily. They have little markings on the inside to tell you which is the top and which is the bottom for each of the pieces. And Bob's your uncle. So pretty simple piece of kit. I'm now going to plant them by the signal box and bed them in with a little bit of static grass, and they'll just help to set the scene. And there we have it, as easy as that. I pushed them down into the ground with a bit of glue, and again that'll dry completely clear. So we're starting to build up this area. We're going to put an oil storage hut over here. We've got a lamp behind there to go in, and then I've got a second oil storage hut, which I decide, will there be 2 together here, just one? Not entirely sure. Could put one over here somewhere, but we'll just let it build organically. I think with a lot of these things, it's simply a case of shuffling parts around and seeing how they fit. But so far, really pleased with that. The scene is coming together. So here are the finished lamps. You can see on the ones lying down that I've painted the bulb, and I used that matte off-white colour. Seems to have worked really well. And actually you can see here is a fully built up example with the ladder on. Touched up the bits where I had to cut it from the sprue, and I really like it. As a very, very low priced detailing piece, I think they really do look the part. So in terms of my recommendation for the model scene yard lamps, and you can see here the packaging, catalogue number 5047 from Pico Model Scene, these are actually really good. I can certainly well recommend these. And as a stopgap before putting in fully lit up ones, I think it might be a really economical way to finish off your layout and then upgrade to working ones as and when funds provide. So I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to glue that in by the signal box. So this is the area where I want to put it, and I guess that somewhere like there is going to be just fine. So yeah, in terms of test fitting, that seems perfectly alright. So I've got my deluxe material speed bond glue, and I'm going to put a little bit down there, and I just push that down a little bit into the ground. And the next bit, I'm going to just build up a little bit of glue onto the base, because this I'm going to stick in some static grass, and I just take a pinch and just try and drop that down into that glue, and this just kind of blends the base in. And I'm going to get a little screwdriver just to kind of push that down and in, and again this just dries clear, so that's going to be just fine. The first of the oil storage huts has gone in. And actually these kits are really easy to make. The pieces fit together really easily. And the only fiddly bit is the red paint, and that's nothing to do with Pico or ratio. That's just simply a case of, for some reason, the Humbrol red paint takes a lot longer than any of the other colours to dry, so you're just got to be ever so careful that it doesn't smear. Now, it looks really bright and clean and new at the moment, but what I want to do is weather that. But I'm going to give the paint that's on it a good day to set before I do that. Otherwise, the weathering wash will actually just start to dissolve the paint that's on there and make a huge mess. Now what I want to do is make up the second of these huts, and I'm going to put that in there. And I think it's going to make a really nice little pair of sheds. But I'm going to make the other one the other way around, so that the fire buckets are over here, is the plan. So we've got both of the oil huts in. The glue's still wet. I put a little bit of the static grass fibres down the middle of the huts, and I've also added a few bushes at the back. Just a bit shiny because I've used some hairspray to set everything. But we're really starting to get quite a nice little area here. I'm really quite pleased at what we've got going on here. Now the oil storage huts do come with some barrels, so we're just going to finish off the scene with those. And then we've also got the Bachmann Scenecraft cable drums, which we're going to add some in there as well. And then this area is pretty much complete. Right, I've got the barrels in. There's basically 4 come with the kit with the 2 huts. So I've glued them down over there, and now moving on to these Bachmann Scenecraft cable drums. And again, just to let you know, we've got some affiliate links down in the description below for you to find all of these. It doesn't cost you any extra if you follow those and buy the products, but it does help out the channel. So I thought these were quite nice. They're on sale, and what we're going to do is just dump a few of them around this area, just like basically their signalling, cabling, that kind of thing. And they've just been dumped out of the way when work's gone on. And that should complete the scene. With the cable drums in position, it's just a case now waiting for the glue to dry, a little bit of weathering on those lamp oil huts. There we have it. The scene is complete. Well, that's been an enjoyable little project up here on Weir Yard. Just finishing off the hump and the signal box at the very top there, and just getting all that clutter around. There's a little bit of weathering still to be done, but I'm sure you'll agree that it's a worthwhile little hours project, just bringing that area to life. And it's kind of what I'd always planned with those relay boxes, the oil lamp huts, and the other bits of clutter. Now, it was great to be able to find all those in one place and at a reasonable price. So I've put some links down below which you can follow to find all of those items that we used. But until next time, you take really good care of yourself. This is me, Jenny Kirk, from up in the loft. Bye for now. Today's video is sponsored by Train-O-Matic, makers of DCC decoders designed to be fully compatible with every manufacturer's locomotive. Visit train-o-matic.com to browse the full range and see what they've got suitable for you. I'd like to send out a huge thanks to everybody who supports me on Patreon, but a special thanks go out to Anthony Kidson, Michael Churchwood, Alec Ralph, Anthony Hunt, William Wade, Wayne Johns, Offshore Allen, oorail.co.uk, Tepic, Michael Lockie, and Helen Sink. Thank you. Without you guys, I couldn't do this.